Understand from him, how has it been as a journalist to disseminate information to the audience? How has he been able to relay all the information that is gathering on ground so that it reaches the audience that he serves? So kindly take us through. You went to the polling stations very early in the morning. You gathered all the information you had. How were you able to communicate that information given the fact that the internet had been shut down?
My friend Ivan Kawa, Ugandan is for Ugandans watching you this TV. What I can say, cutting off the internet was very unfortunate. It was very disappointing and heartbreaking. In fact, I can say it was an abuse of human rights, most especially the Access to Information Act, which is part of us as journalists. It gave us at the time as journalists to disseminate the information as we were on our job doing the work of disseminating the information. Because you had to write SMSs. SMS takes a lot of time to compile a lot of information. So if we had the internet on, we could use our PCs, type the information, very well compiled, and then you send to your bosses. But then with using a mere phone, the phones can jam. A lot of problems using a lot of airtime. You could reach a place with urgent information, but when you find yourself the airtime is already off. It was very unfortunate, and it gave us at the time, and I can again and again say it is a violation of human rights, most especially in this digital era. We are living in a global village. The only way we can communicate is through the internet. When you cut it off, you have cut off the whole world. You have denied those people down their rights to know what is going on in their country, what have happened where they are not, where in their area of residence, what is happening in Zimbabwe. I'm deep in Manyama, in Sangala, in Mawogola County. What is happening to my candidate? What is happening to the polling station? When the internet is off, those people down, they were not well covered also, because they could not follow very well on their TVs, they could not follow very well on their radios deep in the villages, because us, the journalists who were disseminating that information, we are getting that at the time. Yeah, we delayed a lot. The thing that you could send at say 9 p.m. could reach at 12, or it could got aired at 2. Yet it was to be aired at 9 in the morning. But because you have been delayed, the internet is off, we got a lot of hardship.
Actually, I've been told there are some journalists who had to put the information on the taxis and buses to ply to their stations to air the content.
Yes, they did, especially our colleagues who works for the TV. They had to compile the information, make a CDs, put on flash, and then take it to the taxi. It takes like 6 to 7 hours to reach Kampala from Zimbabwe. For the information that you covered very early in the morning, and then you have another information you have covered in the noon time, that means that one will reach very late in the night.
For now, there is someone who has stood up to raise an issue. Let's listen to what she's raising an issue. They are giving her a microphone. We're going to hear what she is raising, and that is Mary Begumisa.
And everybody present. I am Mary Begumisa, a candidate now and a sitting member of Parliament. Now that you're going to declare the results, I want to put a few concerns before you and your team and to the group of our people, of our voters in Sembabule district and to the Ugandans at large. Sembabule district has 17 sub-counties. Since morning, I have called your office. I've called even Justice Byabakama himself about a lot of things, about voter bribery in Maogora West, Maogora County. As I talk now, abantu bange abakyali wabweru, ba agency baffe bangi baliridde ku nsiko mu Matete, Maogora County, obokisi bungi bwatwaliddwa mu Gombora zonna ssatu ne Maogora West, where I come from. I called Susan and I was still at my home. A lot of injustice has been done on us as a people of Sembabule district. I want you to note, nazze wano ku ssaawa emu yennyini, I'm the only sitting member of Parliament in this room. Nga nninda okulaba bye mugenda okulangirira. To the media and to the Ugandans, it is only in Sembabule district, in the whole of Uganda, where up to now, justice has failed to come our way. It is only now where a P6 dropout is going to replace a graduate like me. Is that the NRM? And thank you, sir. Mr. Returning Officer, yagala kutegeeza ebitonotono as you go ahead to declare that we are going to court on the same, at least in Maogora County and Maogora West, where I come from, and other polling stations which I called your office since morning and no justice was given. Ebyalo bingi tubilistinze, abantu baffe bangi mbadde ku Rainbow, bazze nga bakaaba, mbalese nga bakaaba, bazzeeyo mu constituencies nga bakaaba. I told them, no, kangende babisome nga wendi ku lwammwe bannasembabule, mulibeera abajulirwa nti nayimirira ng'omubaka wammwe. Yes, I am independent. From day one, I never got justice, but it's okay. Njagadde bino bijje gye muli, neebaza Katonda the whole district bye batabbye byonna tusobodde obikuŋŋaanyaayo biibino. Ojja ku witnessinga the same handwriting. Omuntu omu n'awandiikira ebyalo 4 Nakasenya, Erebitakuli, voter bribery, video tubadde nazo, obutambi tubadde nazo, naye nga bakulaga tokkirizibwa wadde okusemberera a station. I want to tell you, sir, if I were you, I would not go ahead to declare any results in the place of district woman member of Parliament, Sembabule district. And if you went ahead, it's okay. It's okay. But if I were you, I would hold on a little, call people here, bannasembabule, ne bakubuulira, my official agent is here. Stand up, sir. He is a graduate, Mr. Chigonya Kasi. Siwa pitu ajulira obyonna bye tuyiseemu, bannasembabule bajulira, but you are free to declare as usual but it will go at least in the annals of history. Tisembabule, abantu abatono ab'olubatu baatuula ne bagiryamu olukwe ne bagirondera omubaka gwe batalondangako. I thank you.
Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Well, that is Mary
Thank you,
Begumisa,
Ariwo, for raising
the woman
those
member of
concerns.
parliament. The returning officer is responding.
I want to guide here that the Electoral Commission, when it prepares, it also receives results, tallies, and declares. Are addressed where they are supposed to be addressed. The reason as to why we announce these results is to help you know what we have received and what you have. Then you can make a comparison, and you have if you have a case to put forward, then you have a base. I think I'm clear, and I beg to proceed. Thank you. It's not a meeting that we are going to have. Results, please, can we continue and we declare? Take note of where you have a discrepancy, and you will address your issues where they are supposed to be addressed. Thank you. Declaration of results. District Woman Representative to Parliament, to Town Council, Canon Ward, St. Elizabeth Center 3, Nabut Z. Kankunda Nina, 71, Chinkwire Esther, 33, Mary Begumisa, 133, Number Zero Florence, 25.
Yeah, thank you. We are now coming from Zimbabwe and crossing over to Lira, where Eddie Orwa is on phone and on standby there. Eddie, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I am able to hear you very clearly.
Okay. Please bring us up to speed with what is happening where you are now.
Oh yes, good morning to you and good morning to all our viewers. I'm coming to you live from Lira City at the tallying center that is here at the Lira City Council Hall, where the EC is tallying results. We still do not have any final results declared for the presidential election, for the woman member of parliament, and also for directly elected members of parliament for the two divisions, that is Lira City and Lira City East Division. What is here is that from the preliminary results that we have, Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng is still leading in most of the polling stations, which results have been read and entered at the tally room here, but the final results is not yet out. Tallying is still ongoing. President Yoweri Museveni is also winning in almost all the polling stations which have been read here, and by a very big margin here in Lira City.
Okay.
We still wait to get the final results from the Independent Electoral Commission here, and then we shall be updating the public as and when they come in.
Okay.
But what we have seen earlier in the evening is that supporters of Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng have been celebrating within the town, moving around. We could hear them jubilate. And Dr. Jane Ruth Acheng herself also walked into the Tally Center about an hour ago. She sat there for about an hour, but I think she has moved out again to take some rest because results seem to be moving on. We are expecting the final results actually to come out in the morning, probably around 7 or 8 or even 9 a.m. in the morning.
Okay. Are results still trickling in, or they have suspended until the morning?
No, results are still trickling in. Right now, as I speak, I have just moved out so that I could be clear enough without any interference. But if I could walk back into the tally room, then you would also hear the returning officer still reading more results coming.
Okay.
The presiding officers of the different polling stations have all come with their results, and then the voting materials, of course, the ballot boxes. They are all here lined up waiting for the queue. So each and every one of them gets into the room and then sits before the returning officer and then presents their results, and then the returning officer reads them. And once the returning officer does that, then the presiding officer is now free to walk out and probably even go home. So I still have very many of them, probably more than 50 of them I can see still here on the line, waiting to submit their results to the returning officer to announce them and also enter them into the system as well in the tally hall.
Okay.
So I am just walking back into the tally room so that I could give you some ambience of what is actually taking place exactly in the tally room, how results are trickling in and how they are counting them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is your assessment of the whole exercise?
Well, the process has been very, very peaceful. Of course, here there was heavy security deployment to try to ensure that nothing gets out of hand. And I think they have been on top of their game. They have managed the situation very well.
Okay.
Around the tally center, there is security presence, and they are not allowing those who are not authorized to be around the tally center to cause confusion, and the situation is being managed very well.
Okay.
We only had some small scuffle early in the day when some group of people went and surrounded the vehicle that was being used by Gender Minister, that is Beta Moi, around Boroboro West. And their claim was that she was moving around the polling stations in what they believe was an attempt of trying to mobilize people to go and vote, something they felt wasn't unnecessary. It's like campaigning on the voting day. So security had to move in swiftly and then de-escalated the situation, and then also escorted the minister together with her husband, that is Honorable Jima Kena, back to her residence, and then they requested her not now to move anywhere out of her place, and she stayed, she restrained herself into her place. We talked to police later on, who also told us the same.
Okay.
Was also requested from Dr. Jane Cheng, who also stayed home the whole day.
Okay, thank you so much, Eddie. We shall be back to you, and if there are any updates when they become announcing, you will definitely be letting us know that we can keep Uganda informed about what is happening around us. Now, thank you so much. That was Eddie from Lira City, where, of course, Lira City is another hotspot, given the personalities that are involved in this election, just like Zimbabwe also. But I think he's saying that the exercise is moving on, has been smooth, with a few of those which were expected anyway. Now, gentlemen, back to this. How do we rate ourselves now in terms of our democratic credentials? You are bringing it up from the time the 30 years and even before that, because we have moved on, elections, no elections, back to elections as a country. How do you look at ourselves today?
Yeah, like I painted a picture of a person who has been hungry and another one who is eating, but probably the other one eating some food has not yet balanced, is not yet taking a balanced diet.
But is eaten.
Exactly. So we've left the stage of being hungry in terms of the way we used to be. Now we are at a stage where we get food, but we still need a balanced diet. We are now consistent. It is within the law that we have to conduct elections after 5 years. And if the elections fail, we need by-elections, etc., etc. But there are still issues to be addressed in terms of how candidates are elected, how fairness is conducted, and of course the issues are many. We've just discussed the lack of members forwarding agents at a particular polling station. That in itself can attract scenarios that will bring issues of accountability, because some members are missing. But back to your question, the question is, how far have we traveled? If I was to assess as Dean, not as someone else, we are not doing badly. At least we are beyond the 50 mark. Exactly.
Yeah, I just love the way that you're putting it, painting up a good picture. But the reality is we have moved from somewhere and we are up to somewhere.
Yeah.
You understand? We have not gotten. You see, when you ask this question, it propels me to think you're comparing it to what? What is the comparison? Because you can say that in this comparison, do we fit on that level? We're just only answering because of what we see, and we have been there, at least for some years, we have been there from times we started voting until where we are. Uganda is not yet where
we need to be.
But we are not stagnant. We are moving. This has been a peaceful election. Do we have challenges? Yes, yes. But this is a learning scale for us to learn. The Electoral Commission also has a lot to learn and put right, but also even the people, their expectation and how they approach. He was mentioning a point that is very, very crucial. This election, now people know what they are looking for in a leader. I stood by that polling center and I looked at people carefully, taking time to look through those names, and which was not the case before. You understand? And these days, this election also, I had a saying from different people saying, We want now to vote for people who are going to make substance of our community.
Sure.
Now that is dive. You know, you don't vote people because of, you know, it's election. And so this, we are going somewhere. And me, I would give it a 65.
Okay. In fact, at some point, we were discussing with the dean about people who are voting not to vote.
True.
Yes.
Yeah, but this time it has been different. But also the turnout.
The turnout, yeah.
Yeah, because we have seen in elections where you have empty lines, and you find the polling officials having nothing to do but sleeping under the tree or something like that. But this time has been different, to the extent that when there was that delay in places where we had issues of the voting machines, that the lines extended beyond the normal 5 o'clock. So that also shows that people are getting politically involved, but also politically aware about what they need to do. And you have seen people saying, this time I have to go and vote because I have to vote for this and I have to vote for this. But also, if you are on the line, you could also see a number of the first-time voters. There's also that increasing number of the youth. The first-time voters are also coming up, which again comes back to what you are saying, that at least we have moved. Of course, elections alone may not be the best indicator, but at least it is one of the indicators that we are moving. When you compare from the elections, of course, Uganda started voting as early as, I think, 1958, when we had the first elections. Although the Africans were not very much involved, but you see there's been a trend, and the consistency you're talking about.
That's right.
Bwana James, if the only indicator of any system that is growing is the level of accountability and the security around issues of accountability. Recently, I'll draw you back to what has happened recently with the court martial. There have been reforms done. Recently, the new court martial chairman was appointed, but there were reforms. The reforms, even in Parliament, that whoever military person or profession that will handle issues of the court martial should have legal knowledge, which is being put into which has been put into consideration. Likewise, if we are to see this country get to another level, the issues of who appoints the EC boss, or what is the position of the Electoral Commission, that the neutrality of that institution,
the
independence matters a lot. And I know it will be solved with the time, because we've moved, like we said, we are work in progress, and Rome was not built in a day.
But up to now, that's still being
still doing that. But those are some of the issues for the viewer who is out there, because that question keeps coming, like the question that kept coming. But who are these soldiers who sit behind the legal authority? Do they have enough legal knowledge? And that has been addressed. So in a country that is growing and in a country that is attaining democracy, some of those issues come into play. So like he said, a 65, me I could give a 70. We are work in progress.
Because,
Bwana Mtuta, I think it is very important that we put a notch onto this. As much as we are a growing nation, and there is quite a different sectors that we're looking at to grow and become independent. But we should throw more emphasis on having our electoral commission independent and efficient. That will make even the people that are far in the villages look at it as vital truth, as real. You understand? You want to find an institution that they are not going to relate it to the government in power. You understand? And for me, if there is anything that we should now rush into to make sure that it is, you know, that should be electoral commission, because all other aspects, remember this EC, it controls who is coming to lead this country in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So whoever that plays with EC is actually playing with what is going to get the country involved with in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
That is your banking, that is your education, that is your health.
Yeah, because I think, like you are saying, the parliament, when they sit, maybe the next parliament or their next parliament should look at, because they're the ones who again come back to make noise.
Exactly.
About how bad this is, how bad all these claims.
But they are the orchestrators of the law.
Exactly, we expect them to sit down and agree on the law. You know, in the past, they have been saying that the EC is for government. The opposition will say EC is for government. But we have also seen even members of parliament who subscribe to the government in power also crying foul.
True.
So it means if there is any problem, it does not segregate. It comes squarely to all of us. So it will be in the best interest that if there are any issues to be addressed at that, then the whole parliament should come down and do something as nationally, because they and patriotically, not looking at the faces or looking at the colors. That will help us. But remember, we're also discussing something that in 1958, when they were voting for the Legico, many Africans couldn't merit to go to the Legislative Council for the simple reason that many of them couldn't speak the language. They couldn't know how things were being discussed. Because you look at that the background to it is that most of the Africans at that time were coming from kingdoms.
True.
And the kingdom setup is that the structure is rigged, is set up.
Yeah, true.
You either belong here or not here. You can't cross the lines. But we were discussing that, but I think it was not also fair to say that Africans could not then go to the Legico because they could not speak the language. You have come in my house for heaven's sake, and you want me to speak your language?
But also the speaker by then was appointed by the Governor General, who was the president of the time.
Of the time. Yeah.
So that in itself had issues.
Exactly. So I think there is no way we can completely divest the actions or the EC from a government.
That's right.
The government, because at the end of it, these are people who are serving in that government. You are not going to get them from somewhere else unless you say, we are going to invite some people from somewhere to come and conduct elections in Uganda. But at the same time, that also shows that you don't have trust in the government. So these are issues that we need to sit down as a country and talk.
That's right.
Because we are all affected.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That is Nakawa back on, I think, Kampala, and we are getting results that are coming from Nakawa now.
Nachitende salam aga line 3 nana namata ane tumafilika mbirikawa 1 nafuma Shamim 7 nantege Christine Zabu 0 Naziri Amina Rukanga 59. Mulimira Naso to Osi. Kasir Evelyn Kent 0, Marende Shamim 78, Nachitende Salam Adeline 0, Nananamata Anet Mafrika Mbilikawa 2, Namfama Shamim 8, Nantege Christine Zab 0, Nazid Amina Rukanga 44. Now we are going to elect elected Member of Parliament. Apex International University. Brother Herbert Anderson 50, Boy Ivan 00. Chamba de Wilberforce 1, Nasasira Happy 2, Okumu Vincent Norbert. Okumu Vincent Norbert 0, Okuye Felix 0, Ramiti Apuri 1, Senyon Joel Visekezi 92. Moimira OYE Tutin. Brother Herbert Anderson 29, Boy Ivan 1, Chamba de Wilberforce 3, Nasasira Happy 1, Okumu Vincent Norbert 0, Okuye Felix 1, Ramiti Apul 0, Senyon Joel Visekezi 125. Masalini. Brother Herbert Anderson 60, Boy Ivan 2, Chamba de Wilberforce 1, Nasasira Happy 0, Okumu Vincent Norbert 0, Okuye Felix 3, Ramiti Apuli 0, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 80. St. Catherine Primary School, Kasir Ivrin Kate 4, Malende Shamim 132, Nachitende Salam Adeline 0, Nana Namata Anet Mafrika Mbilikawa 12, Nafuma. Yes, please. Now, remove all of them. Only the selected ones. Monimira, that polling station address is cancelled because it was a different category. Okay. Monimira KAL to KIV. Yes, please. Brother Herbert Anderson 36, Boy Ivan 1, Chamba de Wilberforce 2, Nasasila Happy 1, Okumu Vincent Norbert 0, Okuye Felix 2, Ramiti Apuli 2, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 132. Mukalazi's Gate and Z. Blola Herbert Anderson 34, Boy Ivan 2, Chamba de Wilberforce 1, Nasasila Happy 3, Okumu Vincent Nobert 1, Okuye Felix 1, Lwamiti Apuli 0, Senyo Njoli Bisekezi 1, 22. Frobe Primary School, K02 Nama. Brody Herbert Anderson 31, Bowe Ivan 2, Chamba de Wilberforce 1, Nasasela Happy 3, Okumu Vincent Nobert 0, Okuye Felix 1, Ramiti Apuli 0, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 112. Le Chilemerwas Compound A to Mass. Brother Herbert Anderson 43, Boy Ivan 0, Chamba de Wilberforce 0, Nasasela Happy 1, Okumu Vincent 0, Okuye Felix 1, Ramiti Apuri 1, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 1 for 1. Let Chilemerwas Compound MUT to Z. Brother Herbert Anderson, 31, Boy Ivan 0, Chamba de Wilberforce 1, Nasasela Happy 1, Okumu Vincent Nobert 0, Okuye Felix 0, Okuye Felix 1, Ramiti Apuri 0, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 154. Frobe Primary School, Nam to Z. Brother Herbert Anderson, 29, Boy Ivan 2, Chamba David Bafos 2, Nasasira Happy 3, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuye Felix 3, Ramiti Apuri 0, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 147. Mulimira EU to Cab. Lola Herbert Anderson 51, Boy Ivan 0, Chamba David Bafos 1, Nasasela Happy 1, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuye Felix 0, Ramite Apuri 1, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 90. Mulimira TIM to Z. Brother Felix, Brother Herbert Anderson 59, Boy Ivan 6, Chamba de Wilberforce 4, Nasasira Happy 0, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuye Felix 0, Ramiti Apuli 0, Joel Senyon Bisekezi 93. Behind New Market, NAUC to Z. NAMUC to Z. Brother Herbert Anderson 22, Boy Ivan 0, Chamba David Bafos 2, Nasasira Herbert 0, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuye Felix, Ramita Apuri, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 77. Ramita Apuri 1, Okuye Felix 1, then Joel Senyon Bisekezi 77. Mulimira Nasot OC, Brother Herbert Anderson 47, Boy Ivan 0, Chamba de Wilberforce 2, Nasasela Happy 0, Okumu Vincent Nobat 1, Okuye Felix 0, Ramita Apuri 2, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 86. Mkalazi's Gate NG. Brother Herbert Anderson 53, Boy Ivan 2, Chamba de Wilberforce 3, Nasasela Happy 3, Okumu Vincent Nobat 1, Okuye Felix 2, Ramite Apuri 5, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 141. Brother Anderson 46, Sad Hassan Mosik. Sad Hassan Mosik. Sad Hassan Mosik. Blora Herbert Anderson 46, Boy Ivan 0, Chamba David Bafos 0, Nasasa Lape 0, Okumu Vincent Nobat 1, Okuya Felix 0, Ramita Puli 1, Senyon Joel Bisekezi 94. Tisure Primary School Compound A, Tumuk. Blora Herbert Anderson 63, Boy Ivan 1, Chamba David Bafos 1, Nasasa Lape 0, Okum Vincent Robert 0, Okuya Felix 0, Ramita Puri 1, Joel Senyon Bisekezi 105. Mulimira MA Alt MUM Eden Primary School. This is a different one. Woman MP. Put it here. Woman MP. Murira OD to Oya. Lola Herbert Anderson 22, Boy Ivan 0, Chamba Dewi Bafos 5, Nasasla Hape 1, Okumu Vincent Noba 2, Okuya Felix 0, Ramita Puri 1, Senyon Joel Bisekez 88. Kasiri Brinkett 1, sorry, Old Killer Road, no. Mulimira Namitnas, Brola Herbert Anderson 38, Boy Ivan 0, Chamba Dewiba 43, Nasasal Herbert 2, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuye Felix 0, Ramita Pur 1, Senyo Joel Visekezi 113. Mulimira Ampi to Bag, Brola Herbert Anderson 43, Boy Ivan 0, Chamba Dewiba 0, Nasasa Rape 1, Okumu Vincent 0, Okuya Felix 0, Ramitia Puri 3, Senyo and Joel Bisekezi 64. Old Kiral Road next to church, A to Maj, MUG. Laura Herbert Anderson 30, Boy Ivan 2, Chamba Dewiba Force 9, Nasasara Hapet 1, Okumu Vincent Nobat 1, Okuye Felix 4, Ramita Police 0, George Senyo Visekezi 60. Late Semogere KIR to Mama. Lola Herbert Anderson 54, Boy Ivan 3, Chamba Dewiba Force 0, Nasasara Hapet 0, Okumu Vincent Nobat 1, Okuya Felix 1, Ramita Pool 5, Senyo and Joel Bisekezi 116. Behind New Market 8 KO. Bro Herbert Anderson 31, Boy Ivan 3, Chamba Dewiba Force 0, Nasasara Hape 2, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuya Felix 2, Ramita Puli 1, Senyo Joel Bisekezi 55. You want the whole of it or you want a specific candidate? Behind the market, 8 KO. Bro Herbert Anderson 31, Boy Ivan 3, Chamba Dewiba Force 0, Nasasra Hape 2, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuye Felix 2, Dramiti Apul 1, Senyo Joel Bisekezi 55. Nakato's compound, Blora Herbert Anderson. I'm waiting. Which polling station? You have 94? No, please, that is the total number of votes cast for the candidates. Make your totals very well, please. Calculate, you'll find it is the total number of votes cast by the candidates, not for one candidate, please. Akatos Compound, Blola Habat Anderson 20, Boy Ivan 0, Chambade Wilberforce 0, Nasasala Happy 0, Okumu Vincent 1, Okuye Felix 1, Ramita Apul 0, Senyo Njoli Sekezi 61. Mulimira BAH to ET Bukote Evangelic. Blola Habat Anderson 37, Boy Ivan 2, Chambade Wilberforce 2, Nasasala Happy 1, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuye Felix 0, Ramiti Apul 0, Senyo Njoli Sekezi 111. Let's say Mogele 8 KIN, Blola Habat Anderson 56, Boy Ivan 3, Chambade Wilberforce 1, Nasas Rape 2, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuye Felix 0, Ramita Apul 1, Senyo Njoli Sekezi 87. Chisure Primary School Compound, Malta Z. Blola Habat Anderson 44, Boy Ivan 0, Chambade Wilberforce 3, Nasas Lape 0, Okumu Vincent Nobat 0, Okuye Felix 1, Ramita Pool 0, Senyo Joel Sekezi 108. Let's Mogere Namt Z. Blola Habat Anderson 58, Boy Ivan 2, Chambade Wilberforce 5, Nasas Lape 2, Okumu Vincent Robert 1, Okuye Felix 2, Ramita Apuri 1, Senyo Njol Sekezi 136. Mulimira KIW Tuman, Eden Primary School. Lola Habat Anderson 42, Boy Ivan 2, Chamba David Wilberforce 1, Nasas Lahapi 1, Okumu Vincent Robert 0, Okuye Felix 0, Ramita Puli 1, Senyo Joel Bisekezi 100. The remaining DLR forms are for the District Woman of Parliament that were mixed up in the Dialect Member of Parliament. Polling station St. Catherine Primary School. Kalis Ivrin Kent 4, Malende Shamim 132, Nachtende Salama Adeline 0, Nananda Mata Anet Mafrika Mbirikawa 12, Nafuma Shamim 15, Nantege Christine Zab 2, Nanzidi Amina Lukanga 60. Then Old Kila Road next to church, MUK to Z. Yes, please. Yes, please. Four millimeter. No, the category. The ones you have there. For the category? Oh, okay. Yeah, these are the ones you
polling
put in.
station polling station 08.
Okay. We clarify that with the parking list. Let me finalize this for the interest of time of others. I'm marking on my parking list. Yes. This is District Woman Representative to Parliament. St. Catherine Primary School. I had read it. Then Old Kila Road next to the church, MUK to Z. Kalis Kasili Ivrin Kent 1, Malende Shamim 66, Nachtende Salam Adeline 0, Nana Namata Anet Mafrika Mbirikawa 3, Nafuma Shamim 6, Nantege Christian Zab 0, Naziri Amina Rukanga 32. We shall add on from there as my colleagues in other divisions are adding on for the interest of time.
Direct elected member of parliament, Machinje Division, East, Muyenga Parish. Muyenga Hill A to KIK at Muyenga Community Hall. Kanabahita 1, Kasiri Nganda 41, Kayendo James 0, Kayendo Moloza 1, Kasarita Baker 1, Rebecca Francis 1, Mavike Michael 0, Mohawena Edson 3, Mulema Francis 0, Namona Rachel 1, Dukuwera Asaf 0, Mwabine Judith 83, Obusinji Elijah 2, Sekajugo Paul 0, Segawa Sunday 1, Sekate John 0, Sechide Robert 4, St. Stanley 0, St. Samuel 0, Tenywana 3, Walusimbi Frederick 0, Zizinga Michael 0. Chaitabia polling station. Kanavahita Nicholas 2, Kasiringandari 82, Kayendo James 0, Kayendo Modoza 0, Kasarita Baker 1, Rebecca Francis 2, Mavike 10, Mohawa Minimana Edson 3.
Happening in Kampala, they were hearing from the parliamentary results, provisional results from Nakawa and a few other places that within Kampala here. Now let's move on to Sironko, where we have Farida in Sironko is on standby to update us on what is happening in that part of Uganda. Farida, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Please, can you update us what is currently, as we speak, happening at the polling station or at the tally center? Where
the tally center, this is Sironko Tally Center.
Yeah.
At the Sironko district headquarters, where tallying, the exercise of tallying is taking place for candidates, the presidential candidates and parliamentary candidates. So far, out of the 442 polling stations in the district, 64 polling stations have been tallied, and among these polling stations and the sub-count, they have tallied sub-counties and polling stations in different sub-counties, and so far the leading candidate in the presidential race is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the NRM candidate, with 8,104 votes, and then followed by the FDC presidential candidate, 3,615 votes, then followed by the NUP candidate, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, 11,500, 1,153 votes, and then others follow accordingly. The other candidates follow accordingly, and then we have a members of parliament from Butatiri East. So far, according to what has been tallied, there is Twaha for National Unity Platform. He has scored so far 536 votes. Then Julius from the National Resistance Movement was scored 6,100 votes. And then the Sasaga from Forum for Democratic Change Party has scored 2,276 votes so far, according to the tentative results that are being brought out by the team here, tallying. And then Vincent, who is an independent, that is Butatiri East, directly elected members of parliament, 1,685. And then among the ladies, woman member of parliament for Sironko, The ones that are competing actually now is Nambozo, who is an independent, and Asha, who is the NRM, from the NRM party. Asha so far has 6,450 votes, and then Nambozo, 5,418 votes. And when we go to Budadiri West has like 19 candidates. Oh. And so far what has come out is from one sub-county. So far the tallying center has only brought out from one sub-county of Lorena in Sironko for directly elected members of parliament for Budadiri West. And so far the person who is leading is Wanyoto Godfrey with 1,016 votes. From that one sub-county, and then the next one, who is the one who follows, is from the FDC, from Democratic Change Party, Reverend Magombe Jackson, and that is where the stiff competition is for Budadiri West. And then this one is followed by the NRM candidate, 5,017, and others follow because there are like 19 candidates. Okay. And we have only gotten results for one sub-county so far from for Budadiri West.
Budadiri West.
Yes.
Okay. How has the exercise been generally?
Generally, the exercise around the morning hours, the exercise was somehow peaceful, although it started a bit late. The exercise started a bit late, and
why did it start late?
I think it is about preparation and actually manning these electronic voter verification machines. Okay. And the candidate that I was following was Nathan Nandala Mafabi, who voted from the polling station. Who voted from the name of the polling station.
Yes, okay.
But Nandala Mafabi also voted late around midday. Okay. Around midday, and then he gave an interview of his observation of the exercise at that time, and his observation was that the machines were slow, and at the same time the machines were not so effective as would be expected, because he himself experienced it.
Okay, how was the turn-up of the voters
the turn-up of the voters at this polling station was, they were coming but slow.
Okay.
It was slow, but later in the day, there was some ugly scenes that were actually seen in other parts, apart from where he voted from.
Okay.
Yes, there was some fighting between these the members of parliament, the actual members of parliament contesting for Budadiri West.
Okay.
Yeah, Jackson Magembe and supporters of Jackson Magembe and supporters of Wanyoto.
Okay.
And there was bloodshed, and people actually went to hospital, and actually the FDC presidential candidate got somehow injured. He was stoned together with his people.
Okay.
And yeah, and actually the cars were the first car that was beaten was destroyed was that one of candidate Wanyoto, and it is alleged that this one was bribing voters. That's why they attacked his car, and his supporters also attacked the cars of the Forum for Democratic Change candidate and his supporters.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the ugly scenes that were actually manifested in this election.
Okay, but so far now the exercise is moving on well.
Yeah, the tallying is smooth, and we are still waiting for more tentative results.
Okay.
From the team.
Okay. So thank you so much. Farida, please update us when the new developments come up, especially after the results have been delivered. But I think a lot of, many of the ballots are still in the centers, maybe the own way now being taken to the tally center. And by the morning, I expect that UBC will be able to bring to you viewers that total tally lists from all the other parts of the country, knowing that the time now is a bit late and some of them will be waiting until tomorrow. Now, given that we can hear some of the places where there is violence, it is likely that people will not move at night until tomorrow when they will deliver the results. They could be now at police stations in those locations. But these ugly scenes are also a problem. We were discussing the democratic credentials of a country.
When people are when people are competing for power, or when people are, I think competing is too much of a word, but when people are vying to elect their leaders, there reaches a point where the pressure rises.
Yeah.
And of course, with that pressure, it yields anxiety. People become anxious. Others become over ambitious, and as they fight to win their various candidates, some become mischievous.
Yeah, sure.
And when they become mischievous, all in the name of winning, that is when you get issues of violence. That is when you get issues of cheating. That's where issues of accountability come in. But the good thing is that Uganda is now known as one of the countries with a serious security system or framework.
Yeah,
because of what we do, not only in Uganda, but even the hand we accord to our neighbors.
Yes.
In terms of keeping peace in Africa, and most importantly in the Great Lakes region. So, like we said, it is work in progress.
Yeah. At some point, you
exactly.
expect this, because now the competition means that there also the awareness, but also
where does violence come from? Where does violence emanate from anyway? Issues of waiting, like the way people are waiting. If you have a presiding officer who can express himself or herself without being while humble, you reduce the risk of having people having tempers all over the place. So some of those issues should be looked into. I've been at polling stations where you see that the voters are calm, but the people manning that polling station are the cause of the fights at the polling station.
Yeah, because sometimes it is to do with how the preparedness. I think
exactly.
Farida was talking about the preparedness. Sometimes the preparedness, how prepared the people who are manning this exercise.
Someone is asking a very simple question. When are we beginning? The person on the other end is replying arrogantly. Who are you to ask me?
Big Sam has been part in the exercises of being elected.
Yes, but you know, one of the things that we need to look at is, me personally, I have been I got so lucky that I have been in America when there is elections. I've been in South Africa when there is elections. I've been to Ghana when there is elections. And you want to tell me this one is chaotic? I don't think so. At the peak, at the highest peak of love, you let go. That means that anything, if you love something, you must be willing to die for it, to fight for it or whatever. So these elections for me in Uganda, the only thing is we always want to hype the negative. In other countries, the positives outshine the negatives even when the positives are very many. And the issue of, so there will always be a moment where someone doesn't agree with another one, and because of the understanding and how I'm bringing up, they will fight. That's why they deploy. If they deploy in the United States, they deploy in South Africa. You understand? Because they expect that to happen. But for me, I must comment that this time around it has been very peaceful, despite the fact that weeks before we have been hearing hot tempers and people making, but it was peaceful. But also it brings a question of understanding the type of people we are dealing with.
Sure.
The attendants at the polling stations, how much are they trained in terms of understanding human character so that they can, address people, not addressing strangers. That is very important. The resource, the capital that the Electoral Commission has to have in order to take these people who are going to represent the Electoral Commission. Not for one day training, and they come there to just know. No, it matters on how you train them on how to handle and speak to people.
So this is a charged environment.
A guy came to the polling station today. My wife, it's so funny. My wife votes from a different polling station. I vote from a different polling station. I don't even know how it happened, but I said fine. So my wife votes from Kajan's Health Center 4. So when I finished casting my ballot, I picked her up, said, let's go, and you cast yours. So as soon as she was finishing, this guy, I don't know where he came from, he said, and these are his particular words. This is one guy who is coming to cast his one vote.
And
there are people that have been there.
Yeah, sure.
But he wants to just overtake the line. And he's speaking to the policeman. That is right there. And I'm looking at this policeman. This guy was so nice. Like he said, Sevo, ojja kusimba mabega. Boba toyagala kusimba mabega. Genda.
Get in the queue.
So people have got different tempers, different upbringings, and you will not expect them to behave the same.
Exactly.
But we will expect that this country will invest more in training its own personnel that represent the nation in terms of the Electoral Commission. And also spend time in telling people this is what you need to do, this is what you're supposed to do. These things were said here at UBC. But people also choose to watch different programs that they want. They prefer to watch things that has music or whatever, and they'll go away from the real information. That's why some people will come. But this has been said here
on radio, on TV.
So for me, such fights and disagreements over I support this one and we'll fight, those will always be there. They will always be there. The country has prepared that there is safety. The reason why there is safety is because me and you might get to disagree. You understand? And that happens. People fight on Manchester United and Arsenal.
They kill themselves.
And these are players they have never seen in real life.
Never even seen them.
You know, so such things will, but the precaution. For me, I was happy with the deployment this year, and but we should invest more, not to get people to come and be trained to work for Electoral Commission for just one day. You understand? They should know Electoral Commission has an umbrella, it has a significance in the country, and whoever wears that badge must represent professionally. Professionally. You understand?
Sure.
I voted from Uganda place. While I was voting, they were checking my name. This lady introduces herself very well, and she says, where is your ID? And I bring my ID, and she checks my ID. And luckily enough, this lady knew me. And she gets to see, okay, she tells me go, and they give you the ballot. Now, at the ballot, I've received all the 3 ballot papers. Another person standing right behind comes and says, give me your ID. And I said, for what? And he says, I am an agent. I want to check. I say, where's your badge that says you are an agent? And the way the guy replied me, I said to you, I am not going to give you my badge unless you display yours. Because you're supposed to be there with something that shows that I am this and this.
Because
and
that's an agent.
I have given my ID to the Electoral Commission and they have verified me. You're supposed to be there with the other person.
Not here.
So, but because I could understand that this one, my level of understanding and his level of understanding is very different. And this man said, sir, please go and vote. But to avoid such, the Electoral Commission must know that everybody that it deploys is now having an Electoral Commission face.
Yeah, but you also have raised the issue of agents for candidates.
Yes.
The person, because I've heard the stories, person saying, my agents were compromised.
Yes.
Because maybe you send them without lunch and someone has given them lunch.
And
then later on has told them, please sign here. And they have sold you out.
I have a scenario. Where one agent disappeared with all their declaration forms and said, they did not give us lunch.
Exactly. So that also means that the political parties have an obligation, have a responsibility to train their people.
That's
and
right.
to look after their agents.
Exactly. In fact, the civic education is not all about the Electoral Commission.
No, true.
The political parties should be interested in training their people, in telling them, like now, this education, voter education, the people in the political parties should have told their people this is what is going to happen, this is going to happen, because they are more interested than even the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission is interested in the exercise, but for the political parties, they're interested in the win. And you are not going to have a win if you people don't know what to do. So I think, like you are saying, we have moved, done the moving, but we need, there's more that needs to be done, both as a country, but also at individual level. I mean, if you are an agent of a person, you should have been told how to carry yourself.
That's right.
At the polling station. That at the end of it all, you ensure the safety of the exercise, because your candidate, if there is commotion and confusion at the polling station, you
risk the results to be tampered with.
Exactly. So to avoid all that, it is in the interest of the agents to ensure that the exercise is smooth. But like we said, we are still moving.
Work in progress.
Yeah, but now when you look at the issue, because you know when you have a no-show at the airport, you are penalized.
True.
And sometimes heavily, depending on the airline you are using. How can it come that there is a no-show for voters at a polling station? That you have been mobilizing people, that there will be, we are lucky that this time there has been a lot of enthusiasm. But we're also praying that this enthusiasm will trickle down to the other subsequent elections. Because in this country we also have that problem of voter fatigue. That by the time you come to the elections of the local councils, the lines are empty. So I hope the mobilization can also continue, both by the Electoral Commission, but also the respective politicians. Now, down there may not even be having the political parties, because if you are not going to have an agent at a polling station, it means in that whole area you may not have a candidate for whatever position is there. It means therefore then the voter education has to continue, and this enthusiasm can continue, that we have these elections to the end. You remember last time the number of voters, the President Museveni won with about 7 million, and the next NUP had about 3 million.
3 million.
So you are looking at about maybe people of about 15 million that voted. And you are talking of a population of how many people?
50. 45
exactly.
million.
Yes, coming to 50.
Exactly. So you see that our elections can also be queryable. If you are out of 45 million, only 15 people are going to come to the polling station. So it means still there's a lot more, the movement you are talking about, to move, that Ugandans should definitely take charge of what they need to be done. Because if all Ugandans, you cannot, 45 out of 45, only 15 have voted. What about this other remaining 30? What if they voted, in fact, even if they voted for any other person outside of those who were there, you would have maybe a different result.
Probably, to come in there, the issue of having the biggest percentage of the population as youth and children, you could still subtract off
about
the
20.
percentage of those who are not eligible to vote because of the age. They were under 18. But still then, that reminder still as...
The 30 becomes too big. Even if you have to take up, let's say take off 10 or minus.
It becomes 10, 20.
It's just quite too much. And what you said, this time around, we have actually seen a number of adult eligible voters not coming to vote.
The problem lies with the special delights.
They have gone to the villages. I'm telling you, this time around, we have a lot of youths that have gone to the polls than the adults. And there's a very, very, very big question. Number two, many people think that if I vote the president and the MP, it's done. And they will not come back on the other elections that are coming. And they don't know. We need now to be more until they vote the LC1 chairman. And they don't know that the LC1 chairman means a lot.
To them.
The councillor, to them more than even, and this is where...
I think to come in, Doctor, it is a two-way traffic. I've noticed that you'll move from one area to another. I'm talking about the elections for local council. There are areas you'll go to and participation will be mob. Why? It actually depends on how much you as a candidate you put in when it comes to campaigning. The more you campaign, the more you lure people to get interested. Even when we talk about the level of presidency and members of parliament, the truth is, at that level, campaigns are more intense.
That's right. That's right.
Campaigns are more intense. And that in itself raises a lot of interest. The packaging and branding is different. you have members of parliament, candidates, or even those standing in for presidency coming in with elaborate manifestos. So people pick interest. This time round, manifestos have been translated into local languages.
Yes.
For various parties. So even those who are not catered for in the previous elections, those who could not read English, this time round were able to know that candidate A, candidate B are going to do A, B, C, D for my area or for my constituency. So that in itself will lure a person to go and vote. But how many times, apart from the flyers and the posters, do you find an LC chairperson? I'm not saying doctor. Doctor has done that. Writing a manifesto that members of this village, I'm going to do A, B, C, and D in the entire 5 years or so for this area. Because that will lure members. What are times where you find people participating in big numbers is either they are tired of that leader. And you see, the dynamics at the lower level are different. I've seen in my home, Buloba, I've seen people in another party that are belonging in another party electing a person from another party.
Oh my God.
Intentionally, because of what this candidate has taken them through the time he was serving in his tenure.
Okay.
And telling him straight in his face, we are not going to vote you because you were very shoddy when it came to land issues. At the lower level, it is about accountability and about what you're going to do to serve people at that particular level. But getting back to the point of why you called it voters fatigue, voting fatigue, it's not that. At times it is the packaging and the branding at that level.
Let's see what is happening back in Zimbabwe. I think they are now announcing some of the results for the parliamentary elections that have come to the tally center.
I'm urging all youth, I'm urging all Ugandans, please, let's have a peaceful elections this time round. Let's vote peacefully. After voting, let's walk back home. Let's protect our gains. Let's be peaceful. Please, let's gather in numbers. Let's go and vote peacefully. Then we go home peacefully. Thank you.
This campaign is proudly organized by the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy and partners, with support from the European Union. Tuongeye, let's talk peace.
Let's talk peace. As we go into the final lap of the electoral campaigns and into polling, we are calling upon all the people of Uganda to conduct themselves peacefully. First of all, the candidates, we call upon you to use suitable language that shows respect and tolerance, and language that promotes peace and unity, because we are all Ugandans and elections should not divide us. So we call for language that is respectful of people's cultures, people's views, and is tolerant, because we all have different views, but we all want to have a very, very united country, Uganda.